Hello YouTube, Ronan Kazi, another legendary video. I think this week we're on District Union, so we're in District Union. Maybe we're not in District Union, but someone wanted to do District Union, so I'm doing District Union. Try to say that fast a bunch. I'm going to be playing a bunch of different builds. I rolled up in here with a Vial Jammer build. It's my number 2 Vial Jammer build. It's not maximum damage. It has some regen and it has some skill damage, so the turret does halfway decent stuff. This isn't a high level group at all. So the last time I did something like this, we didn't make it that far. Sometimes I oscillate back and forth between getting close and far away, where I just run in there and I can do my pulse. I want to stay out of the Chunga's hive skill. You see we're putting them down pretty fast, so that's a good indication that we have some good damage. You see the group leader has the chem launcher. We got some grenades. It looks like a pretty decent group so far. I can't help but just trying to get one more pulse in there. I'm going to cut through this video quite a bit, so we don't have any of the lag times. I don't want to speed it up so you can kind of see what happens. Sometimes when it's going too fast, it's hard to see kind of the development of mistakes or good play or what have you. If you're interested in Steam Decks, I did a video on Steam Deck. I have one. I play, if you like the Division 1, I play Division 1 on it and play a bunch of different games. That's up. All right, so I've switched builds. Not switched builds. I talked to you before about having a platform. All I do is change my skill. And now with my skill, I have blinder and I'm going to have pulse. So I'm going to constantly be putting damage on everyone because I have creeping death. And so when I throw blind, it's going to hit and spread to everyone within like 5 meters. I don't really need it that much with Vial Jammer or Jammer Pulse because it's an AoE skill anyways. So probably in your precedence, you're going to probably want to wait for Creeping Death to be on cooldown, and then you'd use Blinder first, and then you would do Vial Jammer. You can see there's Creeping Death has procced, and it's going to reset here in a second. Normally, you can just play ahead, and it's going to be no problems. The key to this is this next part. So this is what you determine whether your group can handle it or not, what kind of run you're going to have. I'm waiting for the Chungas to come around the corner. I'm going to try to engage them as far away as possible. The blinder's the best tool for that. And then when they get closer, I'll pulse them. And I'm going to just pulse them now, just nonstop. I'm going to immediately run back because I can engage them from a distance. And I got to wait for my skills to recharge anyways. Another benefit of Creeping Death is when you're doing the Scorpio shotgun, it's transmitting all your status effects to everyone within 5 meters. I don't have to wait for anyone to die. It just does it automatically. And you can hear them complaining about their eyes. My buddy goes down. Normally wouldn't heal them, but blind's up, so I'm going to do blind, mark them all up. And I'm going to let my buddy get him. Not my buddy, these are just pugs. So you see that blind's good, it shuts everyone down. We're still doing really great. They haven't passed that one opening, right? That's where you want to keep them. If you get pushed out the door, you don't have enough DPS. And so when you're in a group like this, you've got to imagine what's going on. So why are the Chungas not advancing? Is it something, if I'm one of the other players, something I'm doing, or is it something that this Ronin guy's doing, that he's blinding them? I don't know how many times these corrosive people corrosive themselves, but it seems like a lot. And why I'm saying that is, if you're not the one that's stopping them, I'm not killing them, I'm stopping them. So then you've got to say to yourself, I got to make sure that guy's stopping them. I don't want to get overconfident. I started shooting through here. They're on that mounted weapon on the other side of this. And at this point, you can just kill them all from behind that curtain. Corrosive guy. Another reason I'm not very good at that chem launcher. I'm not going to sweat them. So this first wave we've taken care of. The next wave is a bunch of chargers, grenadiers, and drone people on the back side. We've done pretty good here. I'm going to see what's going to happen. I think I'm going to be able to lock them down, so I'm going to push forward. Corrosive guy. So I'm waiting for them to spawn. They've spawned. I'm going to mark as many as I can. And that's the only problem with the stupid effing blind sometimes. Sometimes if you're too deep in cover, you can't get a blind off. And I was in a good spot. And it's effective still, but it's not as effective as it would have been. And you can say, I don't think it even made it all the way there. This is the problem with the blind sometimes. So one of the things that I want to do with all my builds in the Legendary, I want to do damage from cover. I want to put status effects on people from cover. I don't want to do what I'm doing right here and dance in front of everyone. We get through that part. I skip the dogs. The dogs are easy. If you die at the dogs, you deserve to be reset, because you shouldn't die at 2 dogs. I was going to maybe use that restaurant as the title, but I didn't. My graphic, my thumbnail. Can do that first. You can see all the damage. I don't have to worry about it. My damage. I want you to think about this, what this build is in a Legendary. I'm doing damage, and I don't have to shoot anyone or be out of cover or anything. I don't want to argue with people. That's, if you have a build that can do that, please, I'd like you to share it with me. Of course, the chem launcher is great. And you see those drones are going down. I have some people tell me sometimes not to use the vial jammer or not to use a jammer. On Legendary, you got to use it. But I hear what you're saying, and I'm going to give you what you want today. My buddy goes down behind me. I pulse and just turn around and run. I'm doing damage on him. I have 12 seconds before I can pulse again. I'm going to throw this blinder anyways. I shouldn't. It's a waste of time. There's the vial jammer. Dogs are sitting down. And again, this group has a lot of power. You can see we're going through them. Oh, by the way, you see that the weekly special is killing people with a shield thing. Go into any large groups on a hard or a challenging or just a normal hard and just vial jammer, pulse them to death. You'll get your, whatever the number is, 500, whatever it is, you'll do it. Again, in cover, putting out a lot of damage. I know I did a little bit backwards, but I don't need the vial to proc on both of them. I just need them to be blind now, so that's the advantage. I have 2 ways to put vial on people. A third way with the shotgun. And creeping death to spread it to everyone. But you see, both the skills can do multiple people at the same time. So the idea is, that's why the chem launcher is good in some cases. All right. If you can't kill these people, you need to be reset. So now I've told you that this is devastating. If I could remember what it was, it's how devastating it is. So I had two things. I think I had the, and it puts that status effect on them and it disorientates them. So I got rid of that. Now I got a fire turret and I have whatever this is. And it's going to be non-stop spreading the skills. If you have creeping death, it's going to spread the skills on top of it. As soon as my pulse is up, it's the one with the gunner. And this is heroic on down. I would say use this. This is just devastating because it locks people. But that with blinder, people are constantly perma-locked. So one of the things in this build is I have it set to recharge really fast. So that's 23 seconds on the fire turret. So I can put it up all the time. With creeping death, I'm eventually going to spread it to everyone. And it's kind of a big cone thing anyways. I'm putting so much damage, I can go out and get my buddy because I'm putting so much damage. The chunk is on fire. Now he's going to be disoriented in fire. And I'm such a chicken little, I run into the room and look what I can do now again. And I can apply my status effects behind a wall. That's why I use the pulse. Why wouldn't you use something that you're going to get 100% protection when you do it? I think we had 2 chunkas even. Why don't I always play with this? It's just so overpowering. If you're in a big group, it takes longer. You can't set it up. The main thing on really strong groups is I'm just trying to suppress drones. 3 chunkas are going to come out of here. The chunkas shouldn't get past the pool table. I keep wanting saying that pulse is Achilles, but that's not. That's the other one that tells where the vulnerabilities are. I'll remember it when the video's done. Again, so they're stuck there. I turn the fire turret back on. You just put in maximum. Could I do better if I had the fire starter skills? Yes, I could do all that, but sometimes you can quote unquote over maximize a build and it's not really going to help you because it takes away what makes the build great is the technician part of it, because you can do the extra damage. You do better damage against dogs. I can then switch and do something else. And also that pulse is only when this is class. I know that sounds so stupid. So they're not getting into the room yet. But remember that foreshadowing I told you about, how the group's been kicking butt? Well, we might be getting a tad overconfident. And if you look at the people's health, they're not healing themselves and they're going down fast. So I get out of there. I have Unbreakable, so I know I can get one in there, and I get a pulse. Now, my team is going down. This looks just like that video. It's at this point in the videos I usually tell you, thank you for subscribing, commenting, liking, sharing this. Please, I need all the help I can get. This is going to be the second video that I wipe in this room. The horror. Maybe I should have rezzed my buddies. I hate this word synergy. I don't hate it, but people hate that word synergy. But if I can disorientate someone and then put them in the flames, that seems like a good skill. Now, normally those guys will back out and reset, but I'm drawing them back in, which is dumb on my part. And look at that. Predictably, in a legendary, if someone doesn't get rezzed right away, they're going to quit. He knows what's going to happen, so he's quitting. He's quitting before he has to have the humiliation of starting all over. And I don't blame him. But we get a new agent that comes in and replaces him. Merry Christmas to that person, because they're like, hey, I'm in a group and everyone's wiped. What kind of group am I getting in? Not going to die today, boys, though. Not today, boys and girls. Confident in my build. Played it a bunch. Now, granted, I have my expertise up on these pieces. So when you get your expertise up, you're going to have one set. It's super expensive, so you better pick the right set that you're going to get the most use out of, and that's my skill build. Me and this guy go on the top. I don't know why we're going on the top. No need to go on the top. And this is normally what happens. When you run up those stairs, you get shot in the back, and he's dead. But I'm going to blind him. Now I've gone back to blinding and pulse. But I have unbreakable, and that's why you have unbreakable. I don't even got my good pulse. And this is the problem. This is why you should probably have Vial Jammer on this one and this other one, because this is kind of a two-dimensional pulse. And it doesn't really hit everyone. So this is a problem. So I'm going to reposition myself. Oh shit, and they spawned already. So blind them. And that's going to be good. There's my dog Caesar. There's my dog Macy. Everyone's getting up. It's kind of late for me to do this recording, but here we are. When you get grenaded once, move immediately, and I get smoked. It's the problem with being up here. It's the problem without having Vial Jammer. You're not putting the damage on everyone all over, so I got to count on blind. Why do I like Vial Jammer better than everything else? I don't even care where the people are. It's going to reach the whole area and give everyone some pressure. And there's where that blind is just indispensable. Unfortunately, I have to use a med kit. And that guy's going to go down. No fuss, no muss. The rest is easy. So this is 3 waves that happens in this area. You have the first wave that you saw. The second wave is when the chungas spawn. That's like a DPS race. And the third is the dogs. They're just annoying. You're just going to take your time and do everything. Again, Vial Jammer puts them down. I don't have that. I could switch to it. But instead I used Demolisher. And the point of all this is I just want to get through and help these guys get through and finish this. That does nothing. Ronin, wasted. There's that Demolisher. All right. And so at this point, we've all run all over. Why are we in cover now against one person, right? So you're going to go find that one person. And they're still shooting. So sometimes you got to prompt them in there. I skipped that next part. You got to get through that next part. That's easy. Oh, I didn't skip. Showing you, again, I'm going through the wall and damaging people. And now I'm going to blinder them. And I'm going to go back and damage him through the wall again. And so that's why I play this build. The other things you see is the haste, how fast I get the skills back. I'm not using Chem Launcher or Hive because those take a long time to get back. Sometimes I might need to change to do situational things. I'm already thinking about the next phase. I could go with Vile Jammer. It doesn't always reach all the way. I have Blinder that's going to get the people that come out, so I think I'm going to stay with Blinder. I don't remember, to be honest. If you like games like Division 2, you might want to try out Destiny 2. I'm on there. I'd love to play with anyone or group up with them. It's a cross-platform, so if you're on a Xbox or a PlayStation 5, we can all play together. I play with Sloth Moods and Ultimate Shield, and I'd love to play with anyone else that I don't even know how to play that game, so, and I might play a little bit different. PvP over there. I'm horrible at PvP. I'm horrible at jumping. Okay, so I kept with those two skills. And so really I know there's like two spawns. The first spawn is like when you come in, the second spawn's on the left, which seems like it's coming. And the third spawn is over on the right. So there's someone behind us. All I gotta do is keep the people in their place. That's good, we're all set. And I think I mentioned something in I forget which video, which customer class it was for, but basically I understand that you might think legendaries are like PvP for you. Like PvP for me in the Division, that's how you might feel about legendaries, and that's fine. I'm going to tell you, it doesn't matter what you do. You can play the Division however you want, and everything lower, heroic, everything else. It doesn't really matter what your build is. So just play what you enjoy. If you want to be tip of the spear and use more of your, tip of the spear with gunner is great. Who doesn't want to have a minigun all the time? Or if you're the artillery specialty, demolitionist, and you can just fire the grenade launcher all the time on tip of the spear, that's great. All those green builds are viable in heroic and lower. Heck, you could play them in the legendary, but it's like if I played all the heroics and purples. You can do it, it just takes a little bit longer because it's not the best thing to do. I skipped the next part because, again, that's easy. I've died there a couple times. It's embarrassing, but this is really the last part. So you're going to fight it in three ways. You start this way and you're fighting straight ahead. You're going to slowly rotate counterclockwise. I'm going to go in cover, and now I'm going to pulse those people, and I hit them all. Again, want to stay up. The best capability is availability. That you're there helping putting DPS out. After I get this, we're going through here pretty fast. I'm going to move around. The nature of my build is I have Scorpio to put crowd control on someone. I can blind them, and I can also put whatever this pulse is called. I want to say ambrosia, but that's not it. That's not it either. I'm sorry, YouTube, that I said ambrosia. All right, now they're going to come out of here. They come down in the center. My friends are going to take care of that, and I'm going to kill them along this lane. And when they come towards me, I'm going to shotgun them. That's the wave one. Wave 2, they're going to come from the middle and further, and then there's going to be the last set of the people jump over, going to jump over on my end. So I'm waiting. And I'm going to tell you what, when Blinder first came out, this Firefly, I first tried to use it. Not Blinder, but any of the Firefly. I thought it was the stupidest. I didn't understand it. And you can see how powerful it is in the right build. And now we're on the final boss. Look how easy that was. Now, you're going to do, the first thing you want to do in this is you don't want to worry about the boss. You want to focus on the ads. Once the ads are done, we're going to do things a little different. So I'm going to move forward even though I shouldn't, because getting the ads down is more important than getting the boss. Once the boss is solo, then I'm going to move back out of there. So I'm already changing that to Demolitioner because I'm going to use that to demolish his backpack. But he's too close to me now. I've waited too long. I'm praying for a miracle, and survey says no miracle. I get hit by his AoE damage thing. It does a couple of things. It AoE, it takes your armor and health, and it disorientates you. So I'm going to continue. Again, the build has fast recharge, so you're going to be throwing tons of these. Should I put on a kit? Maybe not yet. So at this point, I don't need the AoE damage of the jammer, so I put on a mud gun. So for all you people that want the mud gun, yes, I'm going to use it now. And so I'm going to mud gun, I'm going to blind them, and I'm just going to lock them down. Yes, this is super powerful. But look, no one can shoot me. And so that's when I use it. You can use it in other stuff. I've been in groups where someone used it, but I'm pulsing, knocking people down and everything else. Not saying you can't use it. I'm just saying there's times when it's better used than not. And again, I have fast recharge. So anyways, Ronan Kazi signing off. Thank you for watching. If you got this far, God bless you. Have a great day. Ronan Kazi signing off.